Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we unravel the secrets hidden within corporate filings. And let me tell you, Moderna's latest report has some wild plot twists that might just make your jaw drop, especially when we dive into their numbers and the legal drama. They're facing you will not believe what is going on with their vaccine sales and their court cases. So stick around to decode Moderna's story. Let's get straight to it with a quick overview of Moderna's latest financial performance for the year ending the 31st of December 2025. Moderna's total revenue took a significant hit this year, a whopping 40% drop compared to 2024. This means their total income went from $3.2 billion down to $1.9 billion. That is a huge amount of money gone. It is like losing more than a third of your total income. And guess where most of this drop comes from? It is their net product sales, which fell by a massive 42%. That means less money coming in from selling their vaccines and medicines. This is mostly because sales of their COVID vaccines are way down. This is understandable as the world is moving past the pandemic. But it's still a big chunk of their business gone. They did mention that their new COVID vaccine NextSpike is doing okay in the US retail market, and their RSV vaccine is starting to pick up, but it is not enough to cover the huge drop in COVID vaccine revenue. Now let's look at what it costs them to make these products. Their cost of sales also dropped by 41% compared to last year. This sounds good, but it is mostly because they sold less stuff. And what is really interesting is the breakdown of these costs. They had inventory right. Downs of $291 million in 2025, that's a lot of inventory they basically had to throw away because no one wanted it even for their COVID vaccines. And get this, they also had $93 million in costs for unutilized manufacturing capacity and wind. Down costs in 2025, this means they were paying for factories and equipment that were just sitting there not being used. This really highlights the challenge of guessing how many vaccines people will actually need year after year. Even with all this talk about cost cutting and lower sales, Moderna is still pouring a ton of money into research and development. They spent $3.1 billion on this in 2025. That is a lot of cash going into developing new medicines and vaccines. It did decrease by 31% compared to 2024, but it is still a huge number. This is necessary for a company like Moderna that relies on innovation. But it also means they are spending a lot more than they are currently making from sales. Their selling, general, and administrative expenses, which include things like marketing and salaries, also went down by 13%. This means they are trying to be more efficient in how they run the company and sell their products. So what does all this mean for Moderna's bottom line? They had a net loss of $2.8 billion in 2025. That is a huge loss. And while it is better than the $3.6 billion loss in 2024, it is still a major financial challenge. They are spending way more than they are earning from selling products right now. Looking further back to 2023, their total revenue was a massive $6.8 billion, mainly driven by COVID vaccine sales. That just shows how much their revenue has shrunk since the peak of the pandemic. And this is why they are investing so heavily in their future pipeline, hoping that their new medicines in oncology and rare dyes ACEs will eventually bring in the big bucks. Now let's talk about the legal battles Moderna is facing, because this is where things get really interesting. Moderna is in a big fight with Pfizer and BioNTech over their COVID vaccines. They are suing them for infringing on Moderna's mRNA technology patents. And this is not just happening in one country. Moderna has filed lawsuits in the US, Europe, and other places. Both sides are claiming the other is using their patented technology. It is a massive legal showdown that even involves the UK. Supreme Court, where Moderna won a key appeal in December, but it is not just Pfizer and BioNTech. Moderna is also being sued by Arbutus Biopharma and Genevant Sciences over patents related to lipid nanoparticles, which are crucial for delivering mRNA. They are facing lawsuits in the US, Canada, Japan, Switzerland, and other European countries. And to top it all off, GlaxoSmithKline, or GSK, is also suing Moderna over patents related to RNA delivery technology. This is happening in the US, also in Spain, and through the Unified Patent Court. In Europe, Moderna is truly in the legal trenches right now, fighting multiple fronts in patent wars. On top of all that, Moderna is facing shareholder lawsuits. These investors are claiming that the company made misleading statements about their RSV vaccine. This is a worrying sign because it suggests that investors are not happy and are looking for someone to blame for the stock's performance. Their RSV vaccine has not been a runaway success, and this legal action could add more pressure. Now let's connect these financials and legal issues to Moderna's strategy and future. Their strategy is clear. They are trying to grow sales by expanding globally and launching new products. They want to cut costs and focus on key projects in their pipeline. They are also pushing hard on using artificial intelligence in drug discovery and manufacturing. But there are significant Risks, for example, their reliance on single-source suppliers for crucial materials is a big problem. If one of these suppliers has an issue, Moderna's production could be seriously affected. And let's not forget the market itself is incredibly competitive. They are up against giants like Pfizer and Sanofi, and in the RSV market they are going up against Pfizer and GSK, who were already there when Moderna arrived. They also face strong competition in the oncology space, and this intense competition could make it hard for their new drugs to get a foothold. Looking at the big picture, Moderna's financial situation is challenging with significant losses and declining revenue from their main products. Their legal battles are also a major concern and could drain resources and impact their reputation. However, they are still investing heavily in research and development and believe their mRNA technology has huge potential. If they can successfully navigate these legal risks and bring their new products to market, their future could be bright. But it is a very big if. Looking at these numbers more broadly, Moderna's drop in revenue from 6.8 billion in 2023 to 1.9 billion in 2025 is a stark reminder of how quickly fortunes can change in the pharmaceutical world. This isn't just a small dip, this is a massive decline that has forced them to cut costs and prioritize their pipeline. It is a classic case of a company that had a huge hit with COVID vaccines, but is now struggling to replicate that success in other areas. Their heavy investment in R&D shows they are not giving up, but it also means they are burning through cash at a high rate. Investors will be watching very closely to see if these future bets pay off, especially with the ongoing legal challenges casting a shadow. And honestly, the sheer number of patent lawsuits is a bit unnerving. Moderna is fighting against some of the biggest players in the industry over the very technology that made them famous. This isn't just about money from past sales. These battles could impact their ability to sell future products. This is a high-stakes game, and the outcomes of these lawsuits will likely determine Moderna's long-term trajectory. So what is the verdict? Moderna is a company with a revolutionary technology and a clear vision for the future, but they are facing immense financial and legal headwinds. Their ability to overcome declining vaccine sales and win these critical patent disputes will be the deciding factor in whether they can achieve long-term success, or if their moment in the sun was temporary. We will have to wait and see how it all plays out. Alright, that is our breakdown of Moderna's latest filing. What is your take on these numbers and what they signal for the company's future? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If this analysis was valuable, hitting that like button really helps, and subscribe for more deep dives. Don't forget to check out the Discord in the description. Thanks for watching. See you next time.